Oh my god, let's do a test to prove that switches literally mean nothing when it comes to drag clicking. For example, I'll go in the software of my bloody mouse, which has optical switches, remember that. I'll turn the debounce to 10 milliseconds. Guess what? I drag click 1 CPS. Bruh. See, it literally means nothing. But wait, believe it or not, if I turn the debounce time to 1 millisecond, I can somehow magically drag click again. Wow, isn't that a coincidence? Switches mean literally nothing when it comes to drag clicking, and you will find out later in the video as to why. Often being up for debate and being confusing for some people, do optical or mechanical switches in mice have better or worse performance for drag clicking? In this video, I will dive into the science and the concepts behind these switches and help you determine whether or not these switches best suit your drag clicking needs. Let's first dive into the video by going over the various misconceptions that many YouTubers and drag clickers have about optical switches. Oftentimes, I hear people telling me that optical switches can't drag click, they're not good for drag clicking, and that mechanical switches are far more superior. However, this is not really the case. It is actually an example of a correlation versus causation misconception. What I mean is, many companies nowadays, such as Razer or various other companies, are starting to implement newer and newer forms of technology. One of the newest forms of technology that is being updated in mice today is optical switches. Many of these big companies are phasing out old traditional mechanical switches for optical switches. So, therefore, most newer mice have optical switches nowadays. This also brings in some confusion. Let me explain. Most modern day mice today have a fixed debounce time, or they don't have an adjustable debounce time. Therefore, it's nearly impossible to drag click on them solely due to software reasons. Taking this into mind, newer mice often have optical switches. Therefore, optical switch mice can't drag click. Prior to the release of optical switches, all mice were mechanical switches. Therefore, almost every single mouse that could drag click was a mechanical switched mouse. Therefore, when people look at today's mice that have optical switches and they can't drag click on them, they correlate that with the optical switches themselves not being able to drag click, which is not true. Rather, it's the software in the newer mice that limits the drag clicking capabilities. This claim of optical switches not being superior is clearly destroyed and rebutted by bloody mice. Almost every bloody mouse produced by the Bloody Gaming Company has optical switches. Rather, they are optical laser switches. These switches are not mechanical by any means, however, they can drag click just fine. And that is because these mice have adjustable debounce. What you should take away from all this is that the most important aspect of a mouse when it comes to drag clicking in the end is the debounce time and the software. That is one of the most limiting aspects of all modern day mice that prevent them from drag clicking. For example, I have a Razer Death Adder 2019 or 2020, I don't remember the exact model, it's one of the newer ones. That freaking mouse could not drag click if my life depended on it. And that is because no matter how fast I click the mouse or in what way I click the mouse, there is no way that mouse is registering over 25 CPS due to very high debounce time that cannot be adjusted in the software. Older mice, like the one I have right here, which is an office mouse from 7 years ago that I demonstrated in one of my other videos, check it out, 84 CPS office mouse video, that mouse can drag click exceptionally because it doesn't have debounce. The switches literally mean almost nothing in regards to drag clicking. In the end, any switch has two possible outputs, on and on. So don't really concern yourself over the type of switches that are in your drag clicking mouse. Rather, look into the software details and whether or not you can change the debounce or not. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to this channel if you like this content, and let me know in the comments below if you have any other questions regarding this topic. I'll see you in the next video, guys. See ya!